Half-life of a heart that knows better, also known as I love toxicity. Can you hear me reaching for you through a memory that has done everything to forget you? It sealed the doors, it buried the sight, it poured concrete over the names, and still somehow you glow. How strange to have a heart that loves toxicity and a mind that keeps arriving in hazmat. How funny to know the room is contaminated and still call it warm. I have loved people who flickered like warning lights and called it intimacy. One day silence, the next hands around me like I had survived something I did not know was happening. One day absence, the next cuddles so wholly I forgave the whole reactor for melting down. Alpha, beta, gamma rays, all moving through me. I should have known love was not supposed to ionize the blood. But oh, how it entered, how it rearranged me, how I stood there, mouth open, investigating, ingesting every gamma, mistaking exposure for communion. Clearly I enjoy radioactivity, not the death of it, maybe. Not the sickness, not the way it lingers in the bone, but the charge, the bright forbidden pulse, the way danger makes the body believe it has finally been chosen. I have a terrible gift for finding the troubled ones, the ones with locked rooms inside their chests, the ones who do not feel comfortable in their own hearts but will sleep beautifully inside mine. I love in bodies that are still evacuating themselves. I make homes beside disaster zones and call the sirens music, because I like helping. There it is. I like being needed by what cannot stay gentle. I like the crisis because crisis gives me a role. I like the wound because the wound gives me somewhere to put my hands. I like the ache because the ache answers. A steady love terrifies me because it does not ask me to earn oxygen. It just opens a window. And what am I supposed to do with air that does not arrive after suffocation? What am I supposed to do with peace when my nervous system only recognizes thunder? I have confused inconsistency with depth. The up and down became a religion. The silence one day and softness the next became scripture. I learned to worship at the altar of almost safe, almost chosen, almost loved correctly, almost enough to stay. There is a certain thrill in being the one who almost saves someone. A certain madness in believing your love could be the final element in another person's stability. As if I were not flesh, as if I were uranium, as if I could split myself over and call the energy devotion. But every unstable thing has a half-life. Every beautiful poison knows how to diminish. And me? I burn up quickly. I enter glowing, I exit ash. I mistake the burn for proof that something happened. I mistake damage for evidence that I loved deeply. I mistake survival for romance. How many times have I held radioactive waste to my chest and said, no, this is just warmth with a complicated past? How many times have I braided myself into someone else's wreckage until I could not tell which strand was mine? Braided, unbraided, a polymorphic heart changing shape to match the damage it wants to be loved by. Lover, medic, mother, martyr, shelter, reactor, waste site, ghost. I become whatever the ache requires. And still beneath all this science, all this smoke, all this clever language for ruin, there is a child in me standing at the edge of a locked door thinking maybe if I stay, it will open. Maybe if I glow, they will see me. Maybe if I absorb enough of the poison, they will become safe and call it love. But the body knows, the body keeps count. The body remembers every dose, even when the mind says this is passion. The bones whisper exposure, even when the heart says this is chemistry. The skin says warning, even when the memory tries to forget you. Some bright particle remains traveling through me without permission. So no, I do not hate the toxicity. That is the trouble. I love the rush. I love the danger of not knowing who would arrive. The cold one, the soft one, the vanished one, the one who came back with moonlight in their hands as if they had not left me in the dark. I love it because it made love feel. Maybe it made it feel alive, but maybe alive is not the same as alarming. Maybe intensity is not intimacy. Maybe the burn is not the sun. Maybe I have been calling it chemistry because I was afraid to call it hunger. A hunger to be chosen by the difficult thing. A hunger to be the exception to someone's damage. A hunger to make a home inside what kept refusing me and finally hear it say, stay. But I am tired of being the glowing disaster. I am tired of being the glowing evidence of someone else's disaster. Tired of making beauty out of contamination. Tired of entering love like a cleanup crew. And this applies to me too. I want a tenderness that does not require protective gear. I want a hand that does not shake unless it is reaching. I want a silence that means rest, not punishment. I want a love that does not make my body prepare for impact. Do I want that? And still, many nights, most nights, I miss the radiation. Some nights peace feels like nothing because panic taught me how to feel everything. Some nights I miss the unstable glow. Some nights I go searching for the very thing I survived. Can you hear me reaching for you through a memory that has done everything to forget you? I am not proud. I am only human. A mind in a lab coat, a heart in a fire. One taking notes, one touching the flame, one saying this is toxic, the other whispering, but look how beautifully it burns. One side of me builds containment chambers, the other keeps sneaking back inside to watch the glow. I am every version of myself at once. Somewhere inside me, there is still a small country testing bombs in the middle of the ocean and calling it progress. Thank you.